In a time where we have far too much social media censorship and fact checking, I thought, let's talk about you having a leadership reality checker in your camp. I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Chung, a political leadership strategist, author of the book Political Change, and president for Kenley College, where we provide leadership training and strategy for new and aspiring politicians. Now, I like to look at ancient kings and see what lessons we can learn from them because I believe there are loads of strategy lessons that we can learn from those ancient leaders, what they did right and where they must have gone wrong. You're going to always learn from a leader. You learn what they did right and you learn what not to do. Now, this king that I discovered in my research had a son who tried to steal the throne from him. And as a result, a literal battle happens, and you end up having two camps. One are the ones who were seeking to put the son on the throne, and so they were loyal to the son. The others were more loyal to the king, and they wanted to ensure that the king, his family, at least most of the family, were safe and that the throne was stable. The king has one wish in all of this. He doesn't want his son to be killed, if at all possible. Well, he does not get his wish. His son is killed in battle. Not really a surprise. And I won't even go into the details about how that happened. That's not important to our story and our discussion today. Now, what the king does is it sends some very interesting messages to his soldiers. When he discovers that the son had died in the battle, he weeps so loudly and for such a prolonged period that day that the soldiers who had just practically given up their lives for this king to remain on the throne kind of creeps back in to the capital, completely ashamed, as if they had done something wrong, with the king not appreciating that these soldiers had just fought so valiantly for him. Now, he has an army commander, and the army commander comes to him and says, essentially, if you do not go out and encourage these men, not a one of them will stay with you by the end of the night. Whoa. So, reality, dose of reality for the king. And so the king pulls himself together. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, he misses his son. He's heartbroken, but he pulls himself together. He positions himself on the throne, welcomes the soldiers back, celebrates them as he should have done, thanks them for their service, and things return to normal. So I said, what are some of the lessons that you can learn from this? And what I saw as a result of it. One, there should be someone, at least one person in your camp, who is going to challenge you to do the right thing, even when doing the right thing is difficult. Two, you're not going to always have time to mourn, especially when you're in senior leadership in politics. Three, speaking of not having time to mourn, you're going to have to learn to mourn privately so that you can show up publicly strong for the people. Four, your leadership speaks volumes. People are watching you. They watch you and see what you say, and they look at what you do. And they take cues from you. So they'll see, is this the way I'm supposed to respond? So what happened? The soldiers took cues from the king. When they saw that he was mourning and so distraught, then it communicated to them something's wrong. We did the wrong thing. Five, be very intentional about celebrating those who will go to battle for you, figuratively or otherwise, because it's not always going to be a military battle. But celebrate them. Be intentional about celebrating them. Let them know that you recognize the sacrifices they've made. Sometimes people are going to be making great sacrifices for your vision. You want to celebrate that because that keeps them loyal and faithful to you and to the vision. Number 6, are you weeping and mourning over people who don't care anything about you and who don't want your best? Are you weeping and mourning over those who would stab you in the back? There's an oldie, a golden oldie, they call them. I think it was around 1972 by this group called the OJs. And the song has these lyrics. They're smiling in your face, and all the time they want to take your place. The backstabbers. Don't spend your time and energy crying over backstabbers. And sometimes, sadly, those backstabbers, like for the king, are in your own family. Some of them may be the people who you think were your friends. Number 7, I want you to be very wary of those who have a vested interest in being associated with you. So, what do? They advise you to do things that might actually go against you, that go against the vision you want to put forward, because all they're looking out for is their own interests. And number 8, a good reality checker will help you to look at the bigger picture and advise you accordingly. Leadership in politics is not easy. It doesn't matter what level you're at. I gave you the story of a king. It doesn't have to be that you're a king. You don't have to be the leader of a nation. You can be a leader at different levels in the arena of government and politics. But regardless of the level you're serving in, you need to have at least one reality checker in your camp, someone who's going to hold you accountable, someone who's going to say, if you don't sort this out, these are the implications. And if they are giving you good advice, you got to be aware of when they're giving you good advice. Take it and run with it, even when it is difficult, even when it is a bitter pill to swallow. Now, there might be some lessons that you learned from this story that I shared today, and that you can feel free to add them in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you. That's it for today, folks. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.